is my project for the day. It's a little bit of a tight working space in my office here. I have an 86-inch screen in my office for work-related reasons, but I'm going to be building, and it's tight, so there's not a whole lot of room to film. I got boxes. It's a mess. Not as pretty as Optimal Tech and all the other nice, pretty YouTube streamers, but this is the build that's going to happen for Knight versus Knigget. I have already, over here, I've kind of cannibalized them a little bit while I anticipated this build coming up, but there is Knight sitting on the floor and Knigget sitting in the usual mounted space. Knight has a spot here, but I pulled it down, kind of experimenting with mining the temperatures inside of the case when the panels are off for mining reasons. It is a little bit cleaner, a little bit cooler when running without the case, obviously, than with the case on. But these two DAN cases, this is a 2.1 and this is a 1.1 or whatever. It's a first gen and a second gen. They are going to be upgraded and swapped out and replaced. Here's my other mess of all these gizmos in the office for work-related reasons. So squeezing in some personal work, some personal stuff in here while I'm in the middle of my office. So Knight's system, they're going to be this time identical. The old Knigget was the higher end PC. Knigget was running an i7 7700K, is that right? 6700K. And then Knight was running a i7 or i5. I forget which one it was. I have them up on a site here. Let's get let's see. 10:45. It's pretty slow because I'm copying 500 gigs that I downloaded from Google Takeout. So here's Knight. Knigget was running a 7700K, and Knigget was running a 7700K, and Knight was running a 6700K. So 6th gen, 7th gen, and now the new setup is going to be. This is it. They got two CPUs here. These are the linchpin of the whole project that makes this small case. I think it's 7.1. Is that right? What's the DAN case? DAN case is a 7.25 liters. So 7.25 liter case in these DAN cases. So, and he even says on the I think it's maybe mentioned in here, total TDP recommended, TDP, nope, not mentioned. A lot of people, especially if you're air cooling, in this tiny little case, I should have a Coke can sitting here, shouldn't I? There's my hand. It's a tiny little case. What's something that you recognize as... Let me pause this real quick, and I'll go get a Coke can. This video, by the way, is brought to you, I'm kidding, by Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Milk Stout. This is one of the best beers I've ever tasted. It is so freaking yummy. Anyway, here's my Coke can. That's how tiny this case is. Even the latest Razer laptop external GPU enclosure is bigger than this case. So we're going to squeeze a 3080 that I'm already running on Knight and Knigget. They both have a 3080 Founders. But this is the linchpin that's going to make it all work. Dual, you read this right. Can anybody find the X on that CPU? There is no X on that CPU. This is an AMD Ryzen 9 5900. AMD Ryzen 9 5900. No X. These are 65 watt. They're pretty rare to get currently. Maybe one day in the future they'll be easier to get. But they're 65 watt CPUs. And they start at 3.7 gigahertz, and they'll boost up to 4.7. 3 point, what is the, I'll have to figure out. Got it right up over here. Where is my 3.0? 3.0 to 4.7 boost. So this is what's going to make these thermally viable with air cool. And we're going to use the Blackridge. I got dual Blackridge. I've got dual X50i Gigabytes motherboards. We're going to go with black fans on night and beige, white fans on Knigget. And then the other linchpin on these is the memory. This memory for the Blackridge to be set up as it is with an underslung 120. The entire, where's my finger? The entire heatsink will be covered. This is like a 90 millimeter showing up on this. But when you throw a 120 underneath this, it'll use up the entire heatsink size, minus a small, tiny little smidge on the side. And you have to use, this is very low profile memory. Let me pause here and get just a stick of normal memory. Okay, so there is a stick of normal memory. And this is normal memory, and these are very low profile memory. They're almost half the height. Actually, they probably are half the height. They're kind of slightly overlapped in this package that I shoved it into. In fact, this was the package for this RAM, and it fits in that little notch right there, that little groove. But these two stacked up on top of each other, so it's almost half the height. And that's what we'll be running in order to squeeze underneath these Blackridge heat sinks. And this will be the maximum, the maximum air cool that will be possible in these cases. And I wanted to run a 65, I wanted to not run the 105 watt 5900X or 5950X. I'm putting something in a box here. Hold on while I'm talking. Because air-cooled wise, I thought that might be too much. So inside of this tiny case, I haven't really opened, the only thing I've really opened is this, I've opened this case. I put the CPU in it just for, because I could test fitting. The 750, the SF750 Corsair PSU has boxes been opened. But otherwise, they're all virgin boxes. Be violating them for the first time. But this will be, maybe if I can build 2 at a time, it'll be faster, right? I don't know. But this is the project. It's pretty normal, normal builds. Just I don't think anybody's ever built 2 of them before. And I'm pretty sure, well, maybe by now, but not many people have a Ryzen 5900 with this. Oh, and I didn't finish talking about the memory. This is, if you read this, these last few digits here, yeah, it even says it on there. It's an MTA 18ASF 2G72AZ 3G2. Don't worry about the A1, it's just some lot number or whatever. So a 3G2, not a 2G2. This is 3200 speed RAM. And I was just amazed by this. 16 gigs. They only make them in 16 gigs. They don't make 32 gigs. Knight and Knigget right now have 64 gigs total memory. which in hindsight may be overkill. I don't know if I've ever really used all of it. But this RAM, being 3200, is not actually, you can try to find it, and Shop BLT has it, Asus, Aztec Computers, I think, Aztec Computers has they list them. There's a bunch of other, I mean, even CDW, Newegg lists it, but you just can't get it. They're unobtainable. But if you go to China and you go to AliExpress or Taobao, and then I had known about Taobao sort of a little bit. I never had shopped there before. I knew it existed, never shopped there. But when I tried, I couldn't buy it. It redirected me. I got like a 304 or whatever redirect that says you can't buy this from your location. There is a site called Superbuy, which will pretty much buy anything in China and mail it to you. And so I got these through Superbuy, and I bought 4 of them for about $100 a piece. No, actually, sorry, including shipping. They were $97 a piece with shipping, or like $92 without shipping. It was only like $20 shipping. I even paid. Can I flip the camera? I wonder if I can pause. I wonder if I can pause this real quick. I don't know if I can rotate and pause, so I won't worry about putting myself on the camera. But I paid $40 shipping to ship them to me, and it was said 3 to 6 days, and they got to me I bought them on the 7th of July. It took them until the 12th of July to get into their local warehouse, so pretty much right across the pond from Shenzhen to Guao. I cannot remember the name of the city off the top of my head. I'm not going to type it on the computer. It's pretty much a warehouse. It's still in the same Shenzhen area. It took it 5 days to get from there to there, but once they shipped it out, they took pictures of it. They took nice pictures of it. I actually think I'm going to go ahead and tip them. There is the ability to tip the shippers. And they took pictures and they showed these coveted lot numbers of this D9WFL on all these chips. And they did a very nice thing by showing me the pictures. And then I paid shipping, $40, and it left on the 12th. It left their warehouse on the 12th for DHL pickup, and it got to me on the 15th. It got to me yesterday. Amazing. Like 3 days shipping. I went through customs and everything, all that in 3 days. So this is the build. We'll see how well these thermals come out. And the other thing, I've got custom cables already set up from CableMod that are kind of already calculated on. Since I have these before, I just went in and kind of measured. I know the PSU. I know where the cables are going to go, and I went ahead and measured. And these are special ones that have the 12-pin. This is the. Here we go. This is the special. I'll go ahead and pull this out. These are something new. I don't know how long CableMod's been doing these. Sorry. CableMod now makes the GPU power adapter. These go into the PSU, and then this is that NVIDIA 12 port that they make. So you don't have to go through that funky little Y adapter anymore. You can just make your own. And so these are, hope, cross my fingers, the right length to go into the 1080 Founders. So that's a long enough video for now. I will take more of the progress as I go.